conference. So I just finished day 2 of the APRA International conference. There were 2 of them today, and they were both, the 2 that I went to were just excellent. I did oversleep and miss the keynote presentation, mostly because I was up late last night editing yesterday's video. So the 2 sessions that I went to today, there was one by Kaya Thompson about finding new prospects. This session ended up being mostly geared towards health, like hospital-based organizations. A lot of times in the health and member organization sessions, they tend to be things like, you know, almost inevitably, and I try to go to at least one a year, and almost inevitably the presenter goes, you know, we're gonna have dialogue and a conversation, and, you know, I want to hear from you too, and what ends up happening is that the session becomes horribly derailed, and you end up not getting as much out of it. This session was like it was like this beautiful oasis of people feeling okay about speaking up and asking questions and being involved, while also, like, Kaya kept us very much on track, and that was awesome. A lot of the session dealt with, you know, follow-up. People's interactions with your organization are usually just so, like, almost like fleeting, that if you wait too long, the affinity eventually sort of fades to nothing. And then when you go to solicit them, they're like, who are you? That you as a researcher and, you know, fundraisers and, you know, physicians if you're a hospital and board and things like that, like everyone is kind of part of this. Kaya said that when you are setting up, you know, for example, if your website is setting up a, you know, an online giving thing where people can log in and donate online, you want it to be as easy to find and easy to use, because if people get confused and if they stop for like a second, then they're just going to be like, oh, forget it, whatever. The afternoon session that I went to was Researching Britain. Emily Drayson, who was leading it, is a researcher. She's a freelance researcher in Scotland currently, and was previously in London doing research. It felt like being back in the New Researcher Symposium in a way, because it was almost like going through the fundamentals of research again, and where we as, you know, American researchers kind of go into this going, okay, well, yeah, you know, you go to the SEC, you go to this. It was kind of like the smell test thing from that I mentioned in yesterday's video, is your instincts are gone, and this was a good way of building up those new instincts. Explaining things like, you know, what does an OBE mean? What does, you know, how is that different from, you know, being knighted or things like that? And, you know, and how does that differ from being, you know, a baron? I have a total, like, research crush on pretty much everyone who presented today. Just, so research crush, incidentally, is a term I think a couple of my colleagues would use this phrase, a research crush. And it's this sort of general, like, squee feeling that you get when you're, like, around other people who kind of do what you do and are just so incredibly excellent at it that you just want to be like, I just want to talk to you forever and just ask you weird questions about the things that you're doing, and I just want to, can we be research friends? My way of doing research, my experiences doing research, my knowledge that I've gained from doing research is going to be totally different even from someone else who works in research at the University of Chicago. And it's definitely going to be different from someone who's doing research at another higher education place, or someone who's doing research in another field of fundraising, or someone who's doing research in a different country. But putting all of us together in this one space, and everyone just gets so excited and just so, like, enthusiastic and so eager to connect and to help and to just sort of lift each other up. And that's what I really love about working in this industry. So it's currently almost 4 p.m. and my presentation is in 18 hours. Magnifying glass with a light. Mints. Breath mints. Peace.